So there are three principles. So welcome to the second video on section 3 of Hume's inquiry concerning human understanding. There are three principles of association, three principles of passive connection, laws governing the gentle forces that connect ideas together in the mind, according to Hume. The first is resemblance. This is a very weak connection between ideas. So one idea resembles another when the mind naturally moves from one to the other. For example, you see a picture of your friend, and bam, your idea of your friend comes to mind, right? So there's one example. The second principle that Hume outlines is what he calls the principle of contiguity in time and place. What's contiguity in time and place? Well, this relation is going to be slightly stronger, and it's a habitual connection of ideas in the mind, but it carries no feeling of necessity with it. So the way that it works is that the imagination becomes accustomed to moving between ideas of things that are, say, next to each other in time and space. And when thinking of one, naturally, one thinks of the other. So the example Hume gives here is of rooms in an apartment building. Or, for example, suppose someone mentions to you San Francisco and you think of the Golden Gate Bridge, or a newspaper article mentions South Korea and you think of China, or your American history professor is burbling on about George Washington and you start wondering about what Thomas Jefferson was up to. In each of these cases, you have an example of the principle of contiguity. So, right, it's something is near something else, and when you think of the one, you think of the other. The third principle of association is the principle of cause and effect. And this is the strongest of the three relations. So this is weakest, and this is strongest. And an example of this relation might be if someone mentions to you your friend, and then you start thinking of her parents. So what are the features of this relation? Well, if I see a cause really happening, then I'll believe that the effect will come about. This is the only relation where belief in one idea, which is naturally related to another, can bring belief in the second about. And as we'll see, it carries a feeling of necessity with it. So, okay, so So think of your friend. And then you think of your friend's parents. And you think, well, if I believe that my friend existed, then I believe that my friend has parents, right? And belief in your friend is parents. And belief in the effect of belief. And similarly, there's a capacity, right? It's your friend's parents that necessitated the existence of your friend about bringing your friend to existence. So two components are belief and necessity. We don't find either features in or in the for belief or necessity. So now in discussing these principles of association, Hume speaks of a natural attraction. Although he isn't mentioning Newton here, he is applying the experimental method to moral, that is human subjects. So think of what's ethical, right? Hume just means by moral human subjects. And so he's applying the experimental method to moral or human subjects in a way where the nature of the theory that's formed will bear some similarity to Newton's. And this way, in the third section, this section on the association of ideas, Hume is the second part of his method and investigating the secret springs and principles. Of the mind. That is, the laws governing how we happen to move from one idea of the next. And you'll notice we have three main laws here, parallel to the three laws of Newton. So we've got the laws of the mind, and we'll see that Hume thinks of these laws as somewhat analogous to the laws of force of Newton's three laws. Okay. See you soon.